What got you into this debate, shall we say, about RDA, and which I've heard described in different ways, not always politely. But one of them was a British physician, I think, who referred to RDAs as a ridiculous dietary arbitrary. What do you think?
Well, I think the hard part with when you say RDA, and if it stands in North America, that's the Recommended Dietary Allowance. So first, the recommended part grates me a little bit because I don't think it should be recommended. And I definitely think you should be allowed to eat more. So, myself and several other people in the field are of the opinion, based on data, it's not just abstract, that the recommended dietary allowance is insufficient, not necessarily to sort of cover basal protein turnover. And if you're just sitting around, it's probably not too bad. But definitely for people who are habitually physically active, and so athletes, and it probably scales up to some of the more elite ones. And then as you get older as well, when you become less efficient at processing protein. So it's based on a methodology that has acknowledged problems, but it seems that we just can't move beyond this old nitrogen balance methodology into some of the newer methods and acknowledge that there are lots of observations now that show that the recommended dietary allowance just isn't sufficient, or if not sufficient, it certainly isn't optimal for adaptation, which is, where if you're going to, as you say, fuel greatness, you don't want to just be sufficient. You want to be in the optimal range of things. So I think that's, where most of us push back and say, we could do better. And I used one example. It used to be that the intake for vitamin C was defined by prevention of scurvy, for example, which, that everybody, you need vitamin C. And then there was recognition that we could do better in terms of immune function and a few other things if we consumed more than the level of vitamin C that we needed to prevent scurvy. And so they changed the requirement, and it would be the exact sort of parallel argument for why protein should go up. And we just haven't been able to make that leap, I guess. So.